shkitna, that have the long thighs, the Iroki, but have a greenish body, are also asir, are also not allowed. The simanach, and the way to remember it, is Yerukin Psulim. We learned earlier that if a bird falls into fire and the liver changes because of the heat into green, it is not kosher. So remember, green is not kosher.
Rabbi, when they do the sheikh of chickens, I've seen them they throw them in hot water, so it's much easier to get the feathers out
After it's killed.
after it's killed. It doesn't affect the
No, then it's already done. It's finished.
because the blood still is in there, mixes up this that. No, Rabbi.
I guess they'd have to get the blood out first. I don't know. We'll get to Mlicha soon. We'll have a whole chapter about salting it with blood. Amar Rabbi Yehuda. All right, we are at the, I guess, 5 lines down. Samach Gimel Amud Aleph. Amar Rabbi Yehuda said, Shalach, the bird called the Shalach, Zeh HaShola Dagim Min Hayam. Shalach really comes from an acronym, Shola Dag. It's a bird that swoops out fish from the sea, from the depths of the sea. And now we get to the national bird of Israel, the Duchifat. The Duchifat is the hoopoe. The hoopoe is Shahodo Kafus. The hoopoe looks like it has its glory is doubled over. So in other words, it has a very thick head at the top. It looks like it's got like 2 layers up there. So that's the duchifas. That's why it's called duchifas. Hodo kafus. Right, 2 as in 2, exactly. So it has a double carvalta. It has a double comb.
Is that the kosher bird?
No, not kosher. That's what I said in the beginning of our class. I don't know why the Israeli government made this.
The government didn't make it. It was the public chose.
The public chose as the national bird of Israel.
People make decisions.
There you go. They can't let people make decisions. Benevolent dictators are better. Okay.
The liberals.
It was the eagle, like 8 other birds.
But they chose the hoopoe.
I don't know if it's the same one because Rashi says that the Duchifat doesn't have a double. It's not big.
Doesn't have a double comb at the top.
I saw a picture. I don't know. Maybe it is. They're both not kosher.
But wouldn't they choose the Yonah? Right? Or they should
They chose the bull,
Wow.
which is considered probably a kosher.
Interesting. But of all the birds, that's what
There's
they
the
choose.
picture. Right.
All right, so what was the Duchifas busy with? V'zeu, this was the bird, Shehevi Shamir LeBeit HaMikdash. We know that when it came to building the Beit HaMikdash, the Torah says that the stones of the Mizbeach, the stones of the Beit HaMikdash, could not be cut by metal. Metal shortens a person's life. The Beit HaMikdash and the Mizbeach have to extend a person's life. So the stones couldn't be cut with metal. So how were they cut?
The animal.
They were cut with the worm, the shamir. So what brought the shamir? The duchifas was the bird that brought the shamir for the Beis Hamikdash. Right? Maybe that's why they chose the duchifas, because they know that the state of Israel is leading to the Beis Hamikdash, so it has to bring the worms to help make the Beis Hamikdash. So
maybe their cousins who and the shamir. Who knows? The reason for it, for sure.
all right, something about the shalach. Rabbi Yochanan ki Abi Chazi shalach. When Rabbi Yochanan would see the shalach bird, the shalach I see here, they call it maybe the seagull. Amar used to say, Mishpatecha Tom Rabbah. This bird is the fulfillment of the verse, God, your judgments are deep depths. In other words, God has rules even for the deep depths, because here you have a bird that goes into the depths of the water to scoop up things for what God wants it to be scooped up. So God's rules reach the depths of the ocean. He's in charge down there. All right, now talking about things he used to say when he'd see different creatures, Kavachazin and Mala, when he'd see an ant work so hard and has, so much food, he'd say, Tzidkascha kare'el. Your virtue, your charity is like the mountains of God. In other words, God, you're so kind, you're so generous. Even though the ant is a little creature, you give it the ability to get so much food for itself. You take care of it so well. Your tzidkus is mamish like mountains. All right, going back to different types of birds. Amar Amar said, Likni ubatni. So likni and batni. I don't know, these are types of birds. I don't know what they are. Likni and bitni. Do they have an idea what the likni and bitni are? Also say likni and bitni. Sharyan, they are allowed to be eaten everywhere. But shaknoi ubatnoi, the shaknoi and batnoi, makom shenagu le'echol, where there's a custom to eat them, ochlim, you can eat them. Makom shenagu shelo le'echol, where there's a custom not to eat them, ein ochlim, then you can't eat them. So I understand. Is it something which is dependent on a custom? Either the bird is kosher, it's not one of the 24 that aren't kosher, or it's not kosher, it's one of the 24 that are not kosher. What do you mean? Where there's a custom to eat it, you eat it. Where there's not a custom, you don't eat it. Where the customs make it kosher or not kosher. So the Gemara explains like this: it is dependent on the custom. The low kasha, it's not a question. Basically, there are 24 that are not kosher. 2 of them are Paris and Osnia. So we said that Paris and Osnia each have a single kosher characteristic. But not everybody, but the characteristic of the Paris is not the characteristic of the Osnia. And people aren't so familiar with what is Paris and what is Osnia. But we said that we had earlier the lesson yesterday of, I think it was Rabbi Nachman, who said that since we don't live where the Paris and the Osnia are, because these are desert birds and we live in Yishuv, in a settled place, if a creature would show up with only a single kosher characteristic, you'd know it's not Paris and Osnia and it's kosher. So therefore, that's why it all depends on the place. In a place where there is Paris and Osnia around, that's where they're going to have a custom not to eat these birds, shaknai and batnai, because apparently shaknai and batnai also only have a single kosher characteristic. So in these places where there's Paris and Osnia, you can't eat it, because maybe it is Paris and Osnia. But in a place, Paris where you know that there are no Paris and Osnias around, so then you know, even though birds that people are calling shaknai and batnai are certainly not Paris and Osnia, because these are places that don't have Paris and Osnia. Therefore, they are kosher and people can eat them. All right.
Rabbi, the food they consume, the birds, the type of the food they consume, has nothing to do with the kosher or non-kosher situation.
Well, it may. That's what we said. Dores. Yesterday we learned that the key characteristic of the non-kosher is dores, and we said that there was different opinions in the Rishonim, in the sages of the Middle Ages, how to define dores, right? Rashi said 2 different things. One thing was that maybe it lifts food up with its hand and brings it to its mouth. Another idea is that it holds the food down with its leg. Rashi said that. We said that the Ramban and the Rabbi Tam say dores is that it kills, and it's like a carnivore. It kills things and eats them, or maybe even eats them before they fully die. That's if you've ever been to Tam. So yeah, the food that it eats does have an impact.
Not the way they eat it,
the way they eat it.
Obviously, but the type that they eat has nothing to do with it. No. So like the ones that eat worms or
they all eat worms.
They're all
kosher. Birds don't have to eat kosher for us to eat them.
Yeah, they could be kosher. All right, so now some more birds. Amar Abaye said, kui and kakui. I assume that they don't have translations of that either.
No.
Asiri, they're not kosher. But kakuasa sharia. But kakuasa, that is kosher. However, b'ma'arav and Eretz Yisrael, they said the opposite. They said kakuasa is one of the 24 non-kosher birds, and malki uve, they'd give a person lashes who eats kakuasa. The karule, they used to call kakuasa tachvasa. Okay. Now we talk about bats, the tinshames. The word tinshames appears both in the list of the non-kosher birds, and also appears in the list of non-kosher shratzim, non-kosher rodents. So Tanarabban did a brisa. Tinshames, the tinshames that's in the list, the non-kosher birds, is bo sheba'ofos. It's the disgusting of the birds. I guess the bat. Ata omer, you're saying it's the Ata omer bo sheba'ofos. You're saying it's the most disgusting of the birds. Or bo sheb'shratzim. Maybe it's the disgusting of the rodents, namely the mole, not the bat. So Amritz, the answer is, you always look at the context. Say ulamad, go figure it out based on one of the 13 ways in which we're supposed to interpret Torah, which is davar halamed me'inyano. You learn out a thing from its context. So what's the Torah talking about the first time that it mentions Tinshemes? Bofos, with all sorts of other birds. Afkan bofos. So to here, it's a type of bird, so it's a disgusting bird. It's the bat, the night crier. Tanya nami gabe shratzim kai gavna. Now we have, question.
Davar halamed me'inyano, it means it's the same subject, but it ends with davar halamed misofo. So what does that mean? Davar halamed me'inyano, but davar halamed.
These are two different ways. One is davar halamed minyano. One is to learn something from its context. Davar halamed misofo, I think, is to learn something from the way the chapter ends. How does the chapter end? That'll tell you what was going on earlier. So Tani Nami Gabe Shratzim Kai Gavna. We also learned a brisa in regards to the rodents, similar. Tinshemes is Bo Sheb Shratzim. The Tinshemes mentioned in the list of the non-kosher rodents is the disgusting rodent, namely the mole. You're saying it's the disgusting rodent. Maybe it is a disgusting bird, namely the bat. So again, go figure it out. Go derive it from the 13 ways in which the Torah is interpreted. One of them being davar lamed minyano. A matter can be derived from its context. So what's the Torah talking about? Bishratzim. When the Torah mentions Tinshemes in its second list, it's talking about rodents. Afkan bishratzim. So to you, it's talking about rodents. Amar Abaye said. What's that? What was that? Right? What was the question?
It's in both contexts?
It's the same word, but it's two different things. Right? So it's mentioned in two different lists. It's mentioned in the lists of the non-kosher birds, and it's mentioned in the non-kosher shratzim. So we're saying in the non-kosher shratzim, it's not referring to bats. The context is shratzim. It's talking about a rodent, a mole. Amar Abaye said, Bo Sheba'ofos, the disgusting of the birds is the kifuf. Baos Shebishratzim, and the disgusting of the rodents is the kurpadai. Okay. All right. Next, talking again about the list of the non-kosher birds. Amar Rav Yehuda said the Torah says kaas. Kaas is a bird called the cook. Some say it's not cook, it's kick. Maybe that's shem and kick that we speak about on Friday nights. Then there's another bird that's mentioned there, the racham. The racham is the shrakrak. That's the shrakrak bird. Rabbi Yochanan said, Lama nikra shmo racham. Why does it have a name racham? Racham sounds like rachamim, compassion. The answer is because kevan sheba racham. Once the racham comes, oh, rachmim la'olam. That's a sign that compassion is coming to the world, rain is coming to the world. Rabbi Abaye said, Vuhu, and that's only the Yasav Amidi, that it sits down on something, of it shrakrak, and it makes a whistle, some type of a chirping. So then you know it's a sign of rain. With me, we have a tradition, the Yasvia Ara, that if this racham would sit down on the ground v'sharak and make a chirp, asa Mashiach, then Mashiach would come. As it says, Esher kalahem, I'll whistle to them, v'akabtzeim, and I will gather them in, for I will redeem them.
And in the meantime, it's not a kosher bird.
Right. That's interesting. Right. It's not a kosher bird.
Yeah.
It's not a kosher bird.
It's going to give us a signal from Moshiach, but it's not a kosher guy.
That's true. That's true. Maybe Hashem, when He sends Mashiach, wants us to know that He's in charge, and even the non-kosher can be used by Him to help bring Mashiach.
We're going to eat pigs too.
The pigs are going to become kosher. We learned about that. Okay.
You. When it becomes kosher, you
Amar le Ravidi bar Simi lemar bar Ravidai. Rav Ada bar Simi said to Mar, the son of Ravidai, Vahudi Yasid be Krava, but there was this Racham that sat down on the ground, the Sharak, and it whistled, it chirped. But not only did Mashiach not come, V'asa Galal, and a stone came, Afsakal Amoche, and it smashed its head. Right, ouch. So not only wasn't it a sign of Mashiach, it was a sign of its own death. Answered the Gemara, Amar Le, he answered him, Ahu Baita Hava. That was a liar. That was a dishonest bird. So it came to give the sign of Mashiach before Mashiach was here. So God sent the stone to kill it. All right, now the raven. Tana Rabbanu, we learned in a brayso. The Torah says, Eis kol orev lemino is not kosher. Orev ze orev, that's the raven. Eis kol orev, why does it say Eis kol ha'orev lemino? Lahavi orev ha'imki, that's to include the orev of imki, orev of the valley. Lemino to its type, lahavi orev abba b'roshei hayonim, to include the orev that comes at the head of the pigeons. Amar, we learned orev ze orev. So, atu kamankai, I don't understand. Did we have a raven in front of us to say, yeah, orev is this raven? What's it saying? Elay must rather read it like this. Orev, when it says orev ze orev uchma, that is the black raven. Omer, as the pasuk says in Shir Hashirim, describing God, Kavutzosav, the locks of his hair, Tal Talim, Shchoros, Korev, are locks that are black like a raven. Then it said, the fact that it said, Eis Kola Orev is to include Orev Ha'imki. So what's Orev Ha'imki? That's Kivara. That's a white raven. That's a white raven. So Imki means white. It's a deeper color. As the verse says in regards to Tsaras, Umarehu Amok Min Ha'or, and the shape and the color of the Tsaras is deeper than the skin. In other words, Kamara Chama, like the appearance of the sun, Amuk Min Hatzel, which is deeper than the shade. Then the Brisa says, Orev Abba B'rosh HaYonim, the raven that comes at the head of the Yonim. So Rapapa say, don't say it's a raven that appears before the pigeons. But its head is like the head of a Yonah, like a pigeon. All right, some more non-kosher birds. Now we're talking about the hawk. The verse says, "As hanetz leminehu," the nates, the hawk. Hanetz. Okay, the nates is the nates, the hawk. Leminehu, according to its kind, lahavi es barchiria, to include the bird called barchiria. My barchiria, what's the barchiria? Amar Abai said, shurinka. It is the shurinka. Okay, it's also a type of a hawk. All right, the verse talks about the chasida and the anafa. Amar Yehuda, chasida is daya levana, is the white daya. Lama nikrishma chasida. Why is it called chasida? She'osa chasidos im chavroseha. It does kindness with her friends. It gets food and gives it out to her friends.
But it's not kosher.
Not kosher.
Right.
They say the stork.
They say it's the stork.
Very sly bird it is.
Ha'anafa is the daya ragzanis. That's the angry daya. Lama nikrishma anafa. Why is she called anafa? Shemina efes im chavroseh. It gets all worked up, gets all angry with her friends. All right, talking about the 24 non-kosher birds. Amar Rav Chanan bar Rav Chizda, Rav Chizda, Rav Chanan the son of Rav Chizda, son of the name of Rav Chizda. Amar Rav Chanan, prayed to Rav on the name of Rav Chanan the son of Rav. Amar Rav, the name of Rav. Esrim Arba Ofos Tmeosein. There are 24 non-kosher birds listed in the Torah. Amar Rav Chanan bar Rav Chizda, Rav Chizda. Rav Chanan bar Rav Chizda then said to his father Rav Chizda, Tehecha, where do you have it? Again, there are two lists of kosher and non-kosher, Parshas Re'eh and Parshas Shmini. Sefer Dvarim and Sefer Vayikra. Either Vayikra, if you're referring to Parshas Shmini and Vayikra, Esrim Avu, there are only 20 non-kosher birds listed there. Read the Mishnah Torah. If you're talking about Dvarim, Esrim V'chad Avu. There are 21. If you're going to tell me that the type of bird called the da, mentioned in Vayikra, Mishnah Torah, not mentioned in Dvarim. Shad Yilayhu, you'll add that one to what you have in Dvarim. So in Dvarim you have 21. You can add the da. Okay, Akati Yasim Train Avins. Then you have a total of 22. Still didn't get to 24. Rav said there was 24. So Amar Les, Rav Chizda said, this is what the father of your mother said. Mishmei the Rav in the name of Rav. Wherever the Torah says Limina, that's another type of bird, according to its kinds. That's another one. So it says Limina 4 times. So it says Ha'anafa Limina, it says Ha'aya Limina, it says Kolorev Limina, and it says Va'anetz Limineu. Harei Kanarbas, that's another 4. So the last 1 second, Iyachi, if that's another 4, that's in Vishisavus, we're up to 26, and Rav said it was 24. Abaye said, Da'a, that's in Vayikra, and Ra'ah, that is in Mishnah Torah, that is in Dvarim, Achasi, they're both the same bird. So now we're down to 25. These are the because you're going to think that the Ra and the Da are 2 different types of birds, now turning to Samach Gimel Amud Beis. Nechtis, let's take a look. Mishnah Torah Lo Sufi Udasa. The whole purpose of Sefer Dvarim is to purpose of Mishnah, if you're going to say it's 2, Mechti, let's take a look. Mishnah Torah Lo Sufyu Da'asa. So, is Mishnah Torah coming to add new laws? It's just coming to repeat the laws. And therefore, Maishna Hacha D'chsiv Da, why in Vayikra is it called Da? Maishna Hacha, why here D'chsiv Ra is it called Ra? V'lo Ksiv Da, it's not called Da. The point is like this. Ra and Da Achasi, they're both the same type. And the Torah is just explaining what is Ra. It is Da. What is Da? It is Ra. I said, okay, so you moved away 1. Now you have 25. Not Rav said there's 24. Abai said, just like Ra and Da is one thing, Kach Aya and Daya is Achasi. Aya, which is in Vayikra, and Daya, which is in Dvarim, are the same type. And again, and if you're going to say that there are 2, Mechti, Mishnah Torah Lo Sufri Da'asa. The reason why Hashem repeats in Sefer Dvarim is to add another law or 2. So Maishna Hacha. So why here D'chsiv Lemina Aya? Why here does the Torah say Lemina according to its tie with the Aya? Well, Maishna Hasam, and why over there D'chsiv Lemina Daya? Does it say Lemina only on the Daya? It doesn't say Lemina for the Aya. Now, so what do you have to say? Shnamina Aya and Daya Achasi, they're both the same. And it's including the same thing. Now, so if Aya and Daya are the same thing, why does the Torah once call it Aya and the other time it call it Daya? And so the Gemara at the time it's like learned in a Brisa. Rabbi Yomer Rebbe says, Ekra ani Aya. I could have called it just Aya. Daya lama nemra. Why is it also called Daya? So as not to give an opening to, I guess, the Yetzer Hara or to some person who might make an argument, and he might say lachlok. He might try to make a distinction. He'll say, listen, the Torah only prohibits Aya, but this bird is a Daya. He'll tell you the Torah calls the bird. Torah talks about a bird called Aya, but I call this bird a Daya, so the Daya is permitted. So that's why the Torah repeats the Daya and the Aya. They're both the same thing. Or he might say Atzakore Daya. The Torah prohibits Daya, but who Kore Aya? He says this is an Aya that's permitted. That's what the Torah writes. Hara, which is the same thing as the Ta'ah, and it says ha'aya, meaning the same thing as the daya, v'adaya lamina, the daya to its type, to tell you that aya and daya is the same thing and they both are prohibited with its type.
So they're both no good. Aya and Daya.
Aya and daya and ra and da, they're all no good.
You like it?
That's a good name of a restaurant. Raya Daya kosher restaurant.
It's Super Bowl winners.
You know. Come eat all the corned beef you want for nothing.
And so the Gemara is saying that since the Sefer Dvarim is here to add things, it doesn't make sense that Sefer Dvarim is to subtract things. It's not to subtract, it's to add. So it must be when it talks about a new type, it's not a new type and leaving out another type, it's just including that other type. So the Gemara now says, Meisvei, but I'll challenge you. We learned in a brisa. The brisa is talking about the different non-kosher birds. It says, Lama Nishna. Why did the Torah repeat all the laws of kashrus, both in Dvarim and in Shmini, in Vayikra? So the brisa says, in regards to animals, because it wanted to teach us that the animal with the split spine, even though it chews its cut and has split hooves, is not kosher. Upa ofos, and the reason why I repeated the law of the kashrus of birds, because of the ra'ah, which is only in Dvarim but is not in Vayikra. So my love me to the hasam lo sufi. So just like in the animals, it's to add something. Ofos nami lo sufi. With the birds, it's to add something. So that means that the ra'ah is not the same thing as the da. If the ra'ah is not the same thing as the da, then we're a total of 25 types and not 24 types. Lo. So says, no, that's not what it means. Hasam in regards to the animals, lo sufi, it's to add the shasua. In regards to the birds, it's the frusha. It's just to explain that the da is the ra'ah. Okay, so again, Rav Chizda says the name of Rav. There's a total of 24 non-kosher species. In Vayikra, there's only 20. In Dvarim, there are 21. The answer is that in Vayikra, when it says lemino, leminehu, that's another 4. That's a total of 24. If so, but in Dvarim it's 21. It's not really 21 because in Dvarim it says ra and da are really the same thing. It's just explaining what da is. Da is another name called ra. Now the Gemara says this idea that there are only 24 non-kosher birds, that's against Rabbi because Rabbi used to say ra is the ayah. So that means it's all one thing. Aya, daya, ra, da is all one thing. He said the ayah is the ra. Lama nikra shma ra. Why is it called ra? Sharo biyoser. That's a very good ability to see. As there is a verse in Eov. The verse in Eov is describing the peace that was in Sodom and Amorah. They never had any robbers in Sodom and Amorah. They never had any spies. It says nasiv lo yad'u ayit, their path was not known. Lo yad'u ayit was not known by the ayit. V'lo shezafato ein ayah, and it hadn't been seen by the eye of the ayah. So you see that the ayah is a creature with great sight. And in fact, Tana, we learned in a brisa, the ayah has such great sight. Omedes bevavel, she can be in Iraq. V'roa nevela beretz Yisrael. It's some type of a vulture. It can be in Iraq and it can see a dead carcass in Eretz Yisrael and know to swoop down to go get it. So now, midira hainu ayah. If the ra is the ayah, michlal da lav hainu ra. So that means that the da is not the ra. So Gemara says you can't say that. Mechti, Mishnah Torah lo sufi dasa. We've said many times now, the point of Devarim was to add to things, not to subtract. So Ma'ishna hacha d'chsiv da. So why in Vayikra is there a mention of da? Well, Ma'ishna hasam, and why in Devarim lo ksiv da? Would there not be a mention of da? So you have to say that da and ra and aya is achasi, that ra, da, and aya is all one thing, and therefore it must be that according to this view, the view of Bavo, there are not 24 non-kosher birds, there are 23 non-kosher birds. So Gemara now asks, Umidu ra hainu aya, if the ra is the aya, Mechlal de daya lav hainu aya, that must mean that the daya is not the aya. So now we have a question. We saw it earlier. Why in Vayikra d'chsiv the mineu aya doesn't say the mineu about the aya? Why in Dvarim the loks of the mineu aya el adaya? It only says the mineu about the aya, not about the daya. You have to say that according to Bavo, da, ra, daya, and aya, achasi is all one creature. And he holds, in fact, that there are less birds than 24.
Just Googled it. It said 10,000 species of birds, according to Google.
Gemara's going to say less. We'll get to that in a second.
I'm going with the Gemara.
What?
All right, Tanya, look at a brisa.
I go with the Gemara too.
Isi ben Yehuda says, Mea ofos tmeim yesh b'mizrach. All right, maybe the Gemara's only talking about that region. There are 100 types of non-kosher birds in the eastern part of the world. The kula min ayahin. They're all different forms of ayah. Tani Avimi Breder Bavo. Avimi, the son of Bavo, taught. Shva meos mine dagim hein. There are 700 types of non-kosher fish. Ushmona meos mine chagavim. And there are 800 types of non-kosher grasshoppers. Uloofos ein mispa. But for birds, there are no numbers. Maybe like Google, maybe 10,000. There's no number of how many non-kosher birds.
It's on the internet. Has to be.
Fake news.
Ofos, you must understand, non-kosher birds, that's going to be our Bible. There are only 24 that are non-kosher. El ofos tohorim mitzvah. So, okay, let's change it. In regards to fish, it's non-kosher fish. In regards to kosher birds, there's no number of how many kosher birds there are, because there's only 24 that are not kosher. There are thousands of types of birds, thousands and thousands that are, in fact, kosher. Okay, time you look at a brisa. Rabbi explained, it's revealed before God because He made the world, so He knows what He made. There are many more non-kosher animals than kosher animals. That's the Torah lists 10 types of kosher animals. The Torah lists the shor, seksavim, seizim, everything else is non-kosher. It's well known and revealed before the one who said and the world came into existence that there are more kosher birds than non-kosher birds. That's the Torah list, the 24 non-kosher birds, the 23 non-kosher birds. What's he trying to teach us? That's the Gemara. Kid Rav Huna Amar Rav. He's teaching us like what Rav Huna said in the name of Rav. Others say it's what Amar Rav Huna Amar Rav Mishum Rabbi Meir. Rav Huna said in the name of Rav, in the name of Rabbi Meir. You should always be brief. Always teach in very few sentences. So Hashem is brief. He tells us the 24 non-kosher birds, so we know everything else is kosher. He tells us the 10 kosher animals, so we know everything else is non-kosher. Okay, Amar Rav Yitzchak said, Oftar nechal b'masoras. When it comes to kosher birds, you can eat it based on a tradition. If your father or your Rebbe tells that this was kosher, you can eat it. So Naaman Atzayat Lomar, a hunter, is believed to say, Ofset Tzar Masarli Rebbe. This bird is a kosher bird, that's what my Rebbe told me. Rabbi Yochanan said, V'hu shabaki behen. He has to be a good hunter, so he number one knows what the birds are. Ubishmosein, he has to be an expert in the names of the birds. Why Rabbi Zev had a question. And we say that he's believed when he talks about his Rebbe. What type of a Rebbe is this? Rabbo Chacham, a Rebbe who's a scholar, or Rabbo Tzayid, a Rebbe who's another hunter, a Rebbe in hunting. Tashma, come in here. Rabbi Yochanan explained, V'hu shabaki ben Vishmosein. He has to be an expert in them and in their names. Yeah, Bishmo Rabbo Tzayid. If you're talking about the Rebbe who's the hunter Rebbe Shapi, he's an expert in them. Eliyamet Chacham. But if you're going to say he's a Talmud Chacham, Bishlam Shmasayig Mirlu. Okay, the Chacham knows all the names. He has a tradition of the names. Elinu Miyadalu, but does he know what they look like? When we say that we trust the hunter, when he tells us his Rebbe told him this was kosher, it means his Rebbe in hunting told him it was kosher. Shmamina, that is in fact the proof. All right, now we move on to eggs of birds. You're allowed to buy eggs from Gentiles if they tell you it comes from a kosher bird. We're not worried. Maybe this was an egg found in a dead chicken, a nevela, but this was an egg that has in it some sign of trephos, because that's or an egg that came from a chicken that was a trephos, because again, that's a minority. So I understand, but maybe it comes from a non-kosher bird. The father Shmuel said, "Ba'omer, when the non-Jew tells us, shalof ploni tar, it comes from the following bird, which is kosher. Let's see, it comes from the chicken." And here's an important principle. We'll see this a lot in Maseches Chullin. We do trust non-Jews about a milsa davida legluye, about something which we could figure out. So he's not going to lie about something that we could figure out pretty quickly. Says the Gemara, "V'leima shalof tahar." Why does he have to tell us which of tahar? Of ploni tar, the following kosher bird. Let him just tell us it's from a kosher bird. So no, if he'd say it's from a kosher bird, isli lishtamuti, he could still weasel his way out. He could say, if we find out that he's lying, he'll say, no, it's from a different bird. It is a kosher bird. But if he tells us a particular bird, then he's not going to be able to weasel his way out, and then we trust him. Why don't we check with the characteristics? Okay, Bezrat Hashem will continue at that point tomorrow. Rabbi Chanani ben Akashya, Me'er Ezek Baruch Hu L'Zakos Yisrael, Aficha Chibla Mitzvah Mitzvah Shene'emar,